Hey everybody, and welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to talk about a very common mistake that a lot of people make on their journey of healing and transformation. And that's trying to logically intellectualize your way toward a breakthrough and a moment where your body is processing the core wound, digesting it, releasing it, and essentially coming into this place of peace and calm and presence. And this will generally happen when we make the mistake of not respecting and honoring that in order for us to get to that core wound and digest it and process it and have that profound breakthrough where our body reaches this point where we feel more safe and grounded, and after that point we can begin to work on integrating that in our general day-to-day life. But first we have to feel what it feels like to begin with before we can even think about reinforcing and replicating that in our general day-to-day life. Is not respecting and honoring that we have protectors, parts of us that protect, guard the core wound, this part of us that is holding this wound that needs to be accessed to be able to be processed and digested. That typically we have these parts of us that are protecting the core wound, the inner child, the past version of us that's holding on to that painful memory. And this protector can manifest in various ways. They can manifest in the form of resisting healing experiences, like, oh, I'm not going to do that, that's weird, I'm not going to go to that. They can come to the surface and sprout out all these different reasons why to not go and experience a form of healing, because, well, we don't want to let that part of us out. It's not safe to do so. Who are these people that we're going to be around when we're doing it? Now isn't a good time, No, it's my job to make sure that, your wound, your vulnerability isn't seen by others or even seen by yourself. So I'm going to keep a defensive barrier here that says, no, we shall resist healing experiences. It can manifest in the form of not wanting you to feel anything, being blocked off from feeling the emotions. Like you got these parts of yourself that are boarding up this door, and behind the door is all these suppressed emotions, and it's like, no, we must keep the emotions locked in. And there's various reasons why we could do that. I'm just going to share a random example of many of the clients I've worked with, is because if we are to open that door and those emotions are to come out, well, we may not be accepted by people around us. Again, this is the logic of the protector, because the part of you that's holding these emotions, they obviously want love. That's all they want. They're like, see me, hear me, validate my pain. But the protector is like, no one out there is going to see you, no one out there is going to hear you, no one out there is going to validate your pain, because the last time you showed those emotions when you were young around friends, family, or whoever it was in the past experience that was quite wounding for you, they didn't do it back then, and I had to take on this role right now to protect you, to push you in so the rest of us could have our basic human needs met of being accepted and being a part of a tribe, not being lonely, all these different things that create an immense amount of insecurity for us. Not only as children, adolescents, but just even as adults, we can feel these ways as well. Our protectors can manifest in various ways, and basically the mistake that a lot of people make is ignoring or being ignorant to the fact that they have a protector there and they're not going to be able to get into the door. They're not going to be able to access the core wound, even though they logically know that accessing it and healing it is going to be great for them long term. They're not going to be able to do that until they connect with and work with and cooperate with the protector. The protector is the dragon that is outside the castle, and inside is the princess, and you're not going to be able to get to the princess unless you can get through the dragon. Now, what typically happens, this is another mistake as well, is that the way that people go about trying to get through their protector is as if they're trying to slay the dragon, like, I will kill you, when that leads to more internal conflict. it's going to lead to this logical, intellectual part of you, like healing is good and transforming my life is good. And then you've got the protector who's going to be like, no, it's not good because you're going to be vulnerable and get hurt again and re-traumatized and all this shitty stuff is going to happen. So no, I'm not going to let you heal. And then they're just going to be butting heads. And then you're probably going to experience a level of frustration on your healing journey when you're struggling to have these sort of experiences and break through and get out of your head and into your body. It's going to lead to more frustration. You're probably going to come to conclusions like, it doesn't work. It's not for me. I've tried everything. So the mistake is, if you're just trying to fight against your protector, that is literally been designed by you as a way to hold this wall so strong, to be loyal, and I shall protect you no matter what the cost. Like, this is the position of this part of you. If your way of trying to get through is just by fighting it, chances are is it's just going to lead to this back and forth internal conflict, more noise in your head, probably a sense of feeling more worthless and not good enough because you can't even heal and make progress on your journey, right? So the solution to this is you have to approach your protector by seeking to understand why they are there, what their job is, why that job is so important to them, how this protector is actually a form of love, deep love toward your inner child or inner teenager or past version of yourself that experienced the wound, basically past version of you that's still holding on to that and using the protector to protect them from it happening again, or that suppressed emotion that was too overwhelming for them to process at that time, or they didn't have the right support, etc., and space to process it, coming out now because it could also be a moment when there isn't the right support and people around them to help them process it then. And what could happen then? They got to feel the pain again, and pain felt that isn't processed leads to suffering. So it's understandable why we want to protect ourselves from being in these states of suffering, because it makes it very hard for us to just go about our daily lives and do what we have to do to survive, right? Especially in the current society now, where it's there isn't as much of an emphasis on our emotional needs, and even understand that we have emotions to begin with. That's all connected to our physical health and well-being and our performance and all these sort of things that, you know, society largely turns a blind eye to. So you got to approach the protector with curiosity, seeking to understand them. Because when you can understand them, that's when you can navigate it much more effectively. That's when you can connect with them on a deeper level and cooperate with them in some way. And I'm just going to share another analogy, and I've probably mentioned it a few times in my channel, but there was a really famous FBI hostage negotiator. And imagine if you went to these like terrorists or criminals that were holding people at ransom and, you know, holding up banks with people as hostages. Imagine if you just went to them and be like, let the hostages free, you know, let them free now, do it now, do it. Like, a lot of the time these these terrorists or criminals, whatever, they're just going to hang up the phone. But the approach that he took that was largely successful was seeking to understand the perspective of the terrorist or criminal or whoever it was that has these hostages. And he would essentially connect with them in a way that gets them to feel like that he, the FBI hostage negotiator, really understands them. It's just basic empathy. So he would say things, and like upon really trying to understand the story, and sometimes it would take, you know, weeks or months of hostage negotiating, because sometimes these people that get kidnapped, they're taken for a very long time. And very similar with the relationship with your protector. It's not just going to be an overnight thing in some cases. Sometimes you really got to nurture it over time and build this relationship, especially if you've just been going to war with it for so long, because there may be like a level of resentment there and distrust, like, no, you were hating on me for so long, spiritual ego, intellectually trying to heal everything part of me. Don't you think that, you know, I forgot that, you know? So sometimes it can take a bit of time to repair that fragmented part of the parts of you that have been fragmented, so that they can integrate back again and realize, we're actually one, coming back to wholeness. And the hostage negotiator would say things like, look, I understand why you kidnapped these people. Your country has been bombed and family members of yours have died, and it was an unjust invasion by this other country that came in and did this. So what you're doing now is you're taking this hostage as a way to put them up for millions of dollars ransom to pay back for the loss that you've experienced, your people have experienced in your life. And I get that, I completely understand that. And then these terrorists or these people that would commit these sort of crimes would then go, yeah, that's right, exactly. So you're going to need to connect with your protector in that way. And you can't just spurt out any like fake empathy. Look, I understand you're trying to protect me. Like, it has to be a heartfelt, genuine sense of empathy. And the best way to do that, and this is something that I teach in my program for people that are looking to achieve shadow integration, is for you to actually embody the protector, to access the consciousness of the protector, to speak on behalf of the protector. Now, it's much more effective when you do this guided. So for anyone out there who thinks that they maybe struggle with this, that's perfectly normal to struggle with it. I'd recommend booking in a call with me now. If you want to explore this, we can go through this together. And it's really powerful because by embodying the consciousness of your protector, you can then speak on behalf of this part of you, because that part of you exists, it's there. It's not like, oh, how am I going to speak on behalf of this part of me? It's nowhere. No, it's there. It's obviously, it's operating. It's doing its job. That's why you're feeling the resistance or the blocks or struggling to feel things in regards to your healing journey. When you can embody this part of you and speak on behalf of them, that's when you can understand where they come from, why, what happened to them in the past that created value for them to adopt this adaptation to protect you in this way. Once you understand them and where they're coming from, that then sets the foundation for you to connect with them and guide them out of putting that role down, out of not working so hard and diligently performing that role. Because typically what you'll find is that part of you didn't want to embody that role, but they had to. They had to be, resilient at that time to adapt, to survive. And really, it was just a coping mechanism that felt pressured, uncomfortable, and felt like they were rejecting a part of themselves by pushing them away in trying to protect them. What you find is your protector is actually a part of you that also needs love. And they also seek to embody their authentic self that isn't doing this job, that may be outdated now, that doesn't align with who they are now, that doesn't want to continue to put up these shields and these walls and build them higher and thicker. That actually this part of you would rather want to channel that energy towards something else, but only it just needs permission to do that. It needs guidance, it needs support. And that's all going to come first and foremost by just understanding them. So the mistake that a lot of people make is first and foremost not being aware that they have a protector. It's trying to fight the protector. So the solution to this is instead seek to understand your protector, get to know your protector. And then once you form that really positive relationship with them, you can then guide them toward a more authentic you. I hope this video has helped. If you're interested in learning more about shadow integration, I'm going to put a link below where you can book a discovery call with me. Some things that we got coming up. We are 3 weeks away from Shadow Mastery beginning. This is my 12-week Shadow Integration program. If you're someone who has a lot of self-awareness now, who is struggling to integrate, if you're someone who's struggling with your healing, who's aware of all these things, these patterns that they're struggling with right now, but they need a path forward in how they can get out of it, and they want to immerse themselves in the power of shadow work, then this program may be for you. I'm going to put a link below where you can also learn more about it. And I've officially released Tribal Retreat 4.0. June 28th to the 30th. It's a weekend where I'm celebrating my birthday. It's a winter retreat. Cannot wait to share this experience with you all. We have our early bird tickets on offer now, so I'm going to put a link to that below, Tribal Retreat, where you can grab an early bird offer now just by simply putting down a deposit. We've also got different options for the retreat. We've got private rooms to camping options. So some are much more affordable. So if you haven't been able to come to my retreats before because of the price, we've been able to cater to different people and where they're at right now, giving them the opportunity to come in and experience this beautiful weekend away in nature. If you enjoyed today's video, please like it. Just takes a second, gives me a little hit of dopamine as well. Just makes me know that I'm doing a good job. Give me that validation. I'd greatly appreciate it. No, seriously, if you're enjoying the content, show some love, subscribe to this channel. I'm going to be sharing more of the ins and outs of healing, and also just some more general entertaining content that I can share with you about myself and my journey. So enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy your night, sending you much love and peace. Thank you.